everyone, it's me, Shaw360. So I am doing a follow-up on a video that I did. Gosh, has it been a month? It may have been a month. I don't really know. Time means nothing. We all live in the Matrix, and I feel like it's been a month, but I swear the days have been moving faster than ever for me. But I titled this video How I Feel Now because, number one, if I keep the title kind of ambiguous, it's really hard for people to keyword search me. And the last video I did addressing this, people keyword searched me, and a bunch of people who don't know me, my content, my history ended up on my channel. And I don't want that shit, so that's why I'm titling it How I Feel Now. But as you can probably guess already, I want to talk about kind of the official news of where everyone is headed in SHINee. So the last time I talked about SHINee on my channel, I talked about Taemin and Onew leaving the company. And people were really mad about what I had to say about Onew. Like, hot. Lots of insults and horrible things said to me. Like, it was really bad. Probably not as bad as the one person who said something really super nasty to me about Hyuna, but also, like, fuck that person. Seriously. You didn't see this comment because it actually was stuck in review because it was that bad, and I didn't actually see it until maybe 2 weeks ago. But when I did the video about Hyuna, I had somebody leave a comment saying, quit talking shit, none of what you're saying is verified, and it's always a black woman talking like this, and I see you're not saying anything about Diddy. And I deleted the comment once I read it because I'm like, this is not even something to respond to. But also I deleted it because it was a harassing comment for sure. And I have talked about Diddy. This is a person who didn't watch my channel, but I talked about the Diddy situation after he got sued by Cassie. I talked about it here on my channel. So whatever. Anyway, when I did the video about both Taemin and Onew leaving SM, a lot of Onew fans super duper pissed at me. Taemin fans didn't care at all. But Onew fans, very hot under the collar about what I had to say. But at the time, a lot of what I had to say about Onew was speculative, because even though we had been told that both Taemin and Onew were leaving SM, we had no idea where Onew was headed. We weren't even sure if he was going to still stay in entertainment, and he hadn't said anything for a really long time. So I was like, I don't know what this man is going to do. He might decide to just leave entertainment, focus on his yoga stuff. He might decide to just stick with the acting. He might decide he's going to be ready to sing later on down the road. I was speculating because we had not received any confirmation about anything. After the hard promotion started, it was pretty much radio silence except for the people who ran into Onew at different yoga conventions, or pictures from other people in his life that ended up on other people's personal Instagrams. But no, we didn't know anything about what was going to happen with him, to him, for him, nothing at all. So everyone's contract was set to expire at the end of March. And right after the end of March is when we got the confirmation that Taemin was going exactly where we had heard he was going to go, which was Big Planet Made. Also, highly ironic, highly interesting, the CEO of Big Planet Made is now one of the new CEOs at SM. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that that person left Big Planet Made, or if there's co-CEOs, if Big Planet Made is going to become a subsidiary of SM. I do not know what that means, but apparently the CEO of Big Planet Made is now one of the new co-CEOs of SM, which is very interesting. SM's going through some things. Bo's talking about retiring from entertainment after her contract is up. So yeah, the house is burning down. But Taemin went exactly where we expected him to go. Not a big deal. Things happened the way they happened. It was really shitty because SHINee's name is under SM, and they had started like turning off stuff for Taemin towards the end. I think that his bubble had an announcement that it was going to be discontinued or something to that effect, and they weren't promoting his stuff on the SHINee Twitter account like they used to, or at least they weren't promoting it the way that they should have. So it was pretty obvious that SM had washed their hands of Taemin. But because Onew hadn't been doing anything for the last several months, there was still like no announcements regarding any of Onew's activities for the most part. And then probably maybe a week, maybe even a few days after we confirmed where Taemin was headed, all of a sudden we get the news that a brand new company has been formed to support Onew in his entertainment ventures. And everyone on the timeline is like, oh my God, this is so exciting, this is so great, this is so grand, we're so happy for him, and we're just happy to have him back. He starts posting on his personal Instagram again. He's putting out photos, he's showing snippets of him singing, like he's back. He's back in the entertainment field promoting himself. And I'm not unhappy for Onew. I always have said closed mouths don't get fed. It's a saying that I've told my daughter for many, many years. Like since she was an itty bitty girl, I've always said closed mouths don't get fed. If you need something, you need to open your mouth, say what you need so you can get what you need. And sometimes it's not just about closed mouths. Sometimes it's feet that don't walk, don't get anywhere. And so definitely I can see where if the situation at SM was untenable, he needed to get up and go someplace else that was more supporting of him and really was made to cater to him as an individual artist. But let me tell you how I'm feeling right now. And I'm telling you how I feel right now because right now I don't know anything. So I'm telling you how I feel right now, how things feel to me personally. And if you want to be mad at my opinion, that's cool. I understand that, but this is the way it both looks and feels to me. For almost a year, Shawls didn't know what was going on with Onew. Like we were really just kind of in the dark, not sure if he was okay. We had been told that he had exited from promotions because of his health issues, and in the time that he was gone, we not only had all the hard promotion happen, but we also had several SHINee World concerts that happened without him, and he wasn't really talking to us through any of the both paid and non-paid social media accessibility points. And then as soon as he signed with his new entertainment company, which I have feelings about that, we're getting content, we're getting, hey guys, so excited, new venture. And the feeling I have with that is that Onew is saying something very important that we need to listen with both of our ears to. And that is the fact that Onew is no longer prepared to be the kind of idol that I think people thought he was with SHINee. And I don't say that because he's out of SHINee, so don't get it twisted. Don't say I said he left. But a lot of times with companies like SM, and especially when you're a member of a high-profile group, there is this parasocial relationship you are encouraged to get your fans to buy into. You are encouraged to do things to make them feel like you care for them as more than just consumers of your product, but that you care for them as people, that you are invested in their well-being, and that they should be invested in your well-being. And we've got this social contract with each other that each of us plays our part in doing our role. And because of that, I could get sick and you could send me well wishes, but also you won't get mad if I don't make it to the concert. Or I could be healthy and you can be happy that I'm healthy and look forward to seeing me tonight because I'm in the best shape possible. Well, I think with Onew's absence, and obviously, SM not being the company that he needed them to be, his being quiet, I think, was not only about him telling us that I am basically on boycott status until I can get out of this fuck-ass contract and get away from this fuck-ass company. I think him not posting anything anywhere or saying anything to anybody or even addressing people after he left and saying, this is what went on during my absence, and that's why I waited until now to speak with you. I think it's him reestablishing our relationship with him and him letting us understand you aren't going to be entitled to anything having to do with my personal life. I'm not going to be just checking in to see how you're feeling or for you to see how I'm feeling. This is just a job to me. It means nothing more and nothing less. I come here for a check. If you want to hear me and see me, come and hear and see me about my commerce. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to be very clear. There's nothing wrong with looking at your job as an entertainer as exactly that, a job, because it is a job. People pay money to watch you perform, and when you're not performing, you expect privacy, and you only want to give people the contents that you have carefully curated for them to have access and to consume. So I don't have anything against him reestablishing, like, this sincerely is a job. But I think the reason why it feels like such a stark contrast is because, to be very fair to Onew, because I have a lot of sympathy for his position, people put a lot on that man after Jonghyun passed away. I know you're tired of me always mentioning Jonghyun all the time. Well, get over it, because I'm always going to mention him. But after Jonghyun passed, a lot of pressure was put on Onew to not only be the leader of this K-pop group that he is in charge of, but also to lead fans through the grief process, to secure their feelings and make them feel like it's going to be okay. Even if he wasn't necessarily at a point in his own grief and healing, for him to actually mean it when he said it's going to be okay. And I think for a long time, you know, Onew may have had to put his feelings and his actual thoughts on the back burner because he needed to keep the machine going. He needed to keep making SHINee World a safe place for Shawwals to be, and to be a place where they're only greeted with happy faces and they're only greeted with pleasant conversations, and you know, this is an escape space. But at some point there could have been a moment where the safety and security and the joy that he was providing for fans was leading to him not experiencing that joy, for him to feel burnt out, for him to feel like there was too much emotional weight in playing that role for other people. And if he just decided, you know what, the company doesn't give a fuck about me, I'm tired of having to live my life for these fucking fans, because at the end of the day I go home alone, or to whoever my significant other is, and I'm just tired of giving most of myself away and not refilling my cup. I'm pouring out for others and no one's refilling my cup. And so I can understand if maybe a year ago he just got fucking fed up and said, I'm not doing this anymore. And he chose to quit, full stop. Without telling the fans this is what I'm doing, he just said, I'm done. I'm done. And the next time you see me, it'll be on my terms. It'll be to consume the thing I'm selling you. And I'm not going to continue to be somebody that you can rely on to suit your emotional needs outside of maybe the way my music makes you feel. And that's how I feel right now. On the one hand, it would have been nice to get a heads up that our relationship was changing like that. But then again, that is requiring him to give us more emotional energy than maybe he wants to give us. Maybe he just doesn't want to do that. But it would have been nice to have a heads up for him basically to say, like, you know, I'm sorry, but I kind of have to step back a little bit because it is wearing on me. It's hard. I still have unresolved trauma that I'm trying to sort through. And in order to do that, I need you guys to not need me as much as you seem to need me. But what I find interesting is that the people who kind of picked up on the fact that he waited until he had promotions to finally reach out to people didn't necessarily seem to be Shawwals. It didn't seem to be Shawwals who were making the observation that the only time this man wants to talk to us is if he wants us to buy something. Instead, it was non-Shawwals. Aggie, who I don't know if she's watching or not, I noticed that she reposted like, wow, he went ghost and now he's back because he's signed to a new label. And I know part of it is because no one in the fandom wants other fans to hate them. One of the hardest things is in fan in fandom fan wars, nobody wants to be the black sheep of your fandom. Nobody wants to be the person that people are like, you're not a real fan, because if you were a real fan, A, B, C, and D, nobody wants to go through that hassle or that bullshit. I understand that completely. But I also am like super grown, and so I'm not as concerned about people not liking me. I'm not gonna let you talk shit about me and be dishonest in your argument, but I'm not really concerned about you liking me like that. So let's just be really clear. If things are gonna change, and it is gonna be like, see me about my money and nothing else, I think all the people who have prayed for him, sent positive energy to him, all the people who were signing petitions when they were trying to make it OT4 before Jonghyun passed away and saying, no, I don't want that, I want it to always be OT5. I think at the very minimum, those people are owed just the word that things are going to change, because things have changed. I still appreciate your loyalty, I still appreciate your fandom, I still appreciate the love you show me, but I've got to step back a little bit, and I've got to protect a little bit more of my privacy in order for me to be able to continue to do this. And I don't think that that's an unreasonable ask, because honestly, there are people, like I said, people within the fandom who totally didn't pick up on this, who totally didn't see, like, we're only speaking to him because he has something that he needs us to be invested in. And their thoughts may be, oh, well, things are still normal, things are still the way they were before the absence, we still can rely on you to be our picker-uppers. And maybe that's not necessarily the case anymore. Maybe it's not like that. And if it's not like that, put them on notice. Put them on notice that it's not like that anymore. Also, the company that he has signed to is a company that is a brand new company. It's not a company that's had a presence in entertainment before. This is where my concern flag waves, because there's only a few companies that come into existence that have never existed before, but aren't companies that are owned by the artist. You know what I mean? Like, Park Bom signed to a company that had never existed before, but it wasn't her company in terms of, she wasn't putting her money into this business and saying, this is my entertainment company. Like, Kang Danielle, his entertainment company is his entertainment company. Hyolin's entertainment company is her entertainment company. Just like the other girls in Blackpink, their entertainment companies are literally created by them, for them. It's their investment. We haven't been told that this entertainment company is Onew's entertainment company that was created in order to promote him. And I know that his yoga company is him and a couple of other investors. And I'm wondering if the same investors in his yoga studies company are also the people behind his entertainment company. And if that is the case, I hope everything is above board, on the level, clean, very above, very legal, everything else. Not that I'm saying that Onew's doing illegal things. Please don't put that in the atmosphere, because I'm not saying that. But I don't know who these men are that he has the yoga company with, but if those people are the backers behind this never before existing entertainment company, I hope he hasn't signed some kind of a deal that requires him to repay their creation of this entertainment company as a part of him being signed as an artist. I think that because of him being a veteran artist, he brings a certain cachet to any endeavor that he goes into. So just having his name on your roster already, you're bringing attention. Already he's going to come with a built-in fan base. So I would hope he wouldn't have to repay some investors, because we created this company for you, so now you have to repay every bit of money we invested in order to promote you. Because if you did that with a Nugu, it would be very different. So I hope that he's not drawn into anything shady financial wise from outside forces. I'm not calling him shady, but I don't know anything about the guys that he has the yoga studio lessons thing with, and I would hope that they're not the people involved with this entertainment thing. But it could be that everyone is super supportive, has money to spend, have a have a supreme belief in him, and therefore the money's not a problem because they know they're going to get it back because he's a star. So that could be the case. But yeah, this is not a company that existed before Onew became their artist. And so it's always a little bit dicey with a company that didn't exist. I mean, look at Park Bom. I don't have anything against Park Bom as a person. In fact, if anything, I feel tremendous amounts of empathy and sympathy for Park Bom, because I think she's been unhealthy for a really long time, and she's not ever really had the chance to focus on her health alone. So I feel very much sympathy towards her. But I'll tell you what I said when I talked about her company when it first came out. I remember getting on live or some other video and talking about the fact that I thought that the company that Park Bom was signed to was created for her by YG as a payoff for the way that YG threw her under the fucking bus behind her medication scandal. I said that because I love a good conspiracy theory. I always have, always will. And the company has not since signed anybody else. The company doesn't seem to really do a great job of promoting Bom all that much. It doesn't seem like they have done anything to help her in terms of like image making, styling. It just feels like when she's ready to go on a tour, they make sure that she's got plane tickets and a DJ and a couple of dancers. Like that seems like that's all that company does. And I think one of the things that has always made me kind of leery of these companies just formed for one artist is that things can get kind of myopic. Things can kind of get to the point where like you can't see the forest for looking at the one tree. And usually with an experienced entertainment company that's used to juggling multiple artists and who have long working relationships within the industry, they're able to navigate a bigger artist because they're used to holding all of these balls in the air and making things happen and, you know, being image makers and promoters and everything else. And a lot of these companies that are made around somebody, they aren't necessarily as equipped because they're newer in the industry and they don't have those same connections. And it would make me really sad if Onew's entertainment company is a company formed by some friends to support him, but because they don't have the same outreach as a more experienced veteran company, they're not able to maximize on the kind of cachet of importance that Onew brings with him when he joins them as an artist. So that's my main concern. I mean, people were going gaga over the pictures that were sent of Onew, and I didn't think the pictures were bad. I thought the pictures were fine, but I remember thinking, okay, this is fairly simple. I wonder if some other things that happen for him will be a little bit more sophisticated. I hope so, because he is a well-known artist and has been for a really long time. So it makes sense for him to have a very experienced group of people behind him. So I think I've talked enough about the Onew situation. Like I said, I really have anything to say about Taemin because we knew where Taemin was going like right away. And then lastly, Minho and Key just confirmed that they re-signed with SM. And you know what was really affirming to me, because it's always affirming when people kind of parrot the same thing that you say. It was really affirming to me that people didn't shit on Key and Minho for staying with SM because they understood how many opportunities they had with SM outside of music. And that was really affirming for me, because I'm like, I feel like sometimes when I say things like that, I sound biased because everyone knows that Minho is my bias in SHINee. So me saying, oh yeah, well SM just supports him so much, why would he leave? I'm sure there are people like, girl, you are digmatized, get over it. But when you look at all the things that Minho does, if we're being very honest with each other, if you and me were talking to each other in an honest and open way, Minho has been trying to make it as an actor for the better part of a decade. He really has. Like, he has starred in larger budget shows. To the Beautiful You is what I'm thinking of. He's done kind of web series. I'm thinking Yumi Cells. He's done a lot in the acting realm to try to establish his foothold. But nothing has really taken off all that much for him. His acting career has kind of been the same pathway as Dara's acting career, even though he's had some big looks on Netflix. But big looks in terms of being in a highly promoted show, but not necessarily that show being a highly watched show. So the fact that SM continues to put resources behind Minho appearing on television, appearing in Variety, having radio shows, having his own show, being a part of ensemble cast, you know, after years of Minho not really scoring a huge look in terms of his acting career, most acting agencies probably would have dropped Minho. If Minho was not a member of SHINee, if Minho was just the actor Choi Minho, and he had been in a bunch of works but nothing really popped off for him, he probably would have been relegated to unnamed status, guy in the background, sidekick du jour. He wouldn't have had the big opportunities where the marketing was focused on him because he's in it. But SM does provide that opportunity for him because SM has a lot of pull in the industry. And so I can see why Minho would want to stay there if this is a really important thing for him. I don't think that the music is as important to Minho as the variety opportunities and the television opportunities and the acting and the modeling. Those things in terms of wealth building and profile building are a lot bigger for him in terms of keeping his name out there, because he doesn't really sing like that. Like, out of all the members of SHINee, he has the least solos. So I can see why he would stay with SM, because if he was to join an independent agency or a pre-established agency, how long would they continue to push him before they would say, we're not getting the returns, right? Key is on Amazing Saturday. There's nothing else to say. And I'm not saying that to be cute. I mean that. SM has tried a few different times to get variety going for Key. They've had Key in We Got Married. They've had Key have his own show. It was Key's Kitchen. Like, they've had Key I Live Alone. Like, SM has done a lot of variety work with Key. And they've done some acting work here and there too. But Key really hit it big on his variety work. Like, out of all the members of SHINee, Key's variety work has been the most successful. And SM got him Amazing Saturday. Like, he was in contemplation for that role because SM's like, we know a guy doing a thing, you want to join, you know? And he's a household name. Key is a household name now. I don't know if you ever watched the episode of, what is it? There's this web show with like little kids, and they'll review different things and then they'll be asked to have a conversation about it. I can't remember the name of the channel now, but it's a channel here on YouTube. But they had SHINee do like a review of their discography, and there's a little boy on that show who, when Key walks in the room, he's like, oh my God, it's Key from Amazing Saturday. Like, little kids know who Key is. And all of these different like successful variety appearances, it makes sense why Key would stay with SM, because this has been a successful run for him. And leaving SM would not necessarily reward the way it would if he left. ODG, thank you. I couldn't remember the name. But leaving SM wouldn't necessarily be the reward, because yeah, he could probably stay on the shows he's on, but if he wants to do other things, if he wants to do bigger things, if he wants to experiment more, how would he be supported? And then also, Key does really well with variety. His music does okay, but his music has never been the big selling point for Key in terms of like his biggest kind of role in Korean society, right? If Key was to leave SM to join another entertainment company, more than likely another entertainment company would say, don't really worry about the music thing. The music thing is cool, but don't really worry about that. Cut back on that. Let's focus on the variety. And with SM, Key gets the opportunity to do a lot of different things. It is art exhibits, it is concerts, it is music, it is design, it is fashion. he does a ton of different activities under SM, because SM has kind of given him the freedom to do so. So I can understand why he would want to stay under the label, because it just has worked out really well for him. So yeah, I'm glad people were able to kind of see it that way. Like, there's no reason for these two to leave. But Taemin, I know SM has not been treating him well. First of all, Taemin had to carry the group on his back while they were all enlisted, and SM did not reward him in kind. They worked him like a fucking dog by making him do both Super M and solo work at the same time. I mean, that boy was busy. But also, like, you remember after he did, what's it called? Oh, it's the show, the water show. I can't think of the name of the show, but you guys know what it is. It's the show where all the idols get on stage and people get the water guns and they cover them with water. I don't know why I did this. This was a terrible idea. I'm trying to talk about a super soaker, but this looks bad. Anyway, water gun, water show, whatever the fuck. I think Taemin did that last year, and then immediately afterwards they had him in like a fucking club trying to do a performance, and it was like a little shitty nightclub, and people were disorderly, and it was a total bad look for just a regular artist, but it was an even worse look for somebody who is a member of SHINee, and probably one of the most popular current members of SHINee. And so little indignities and bullshit like that have been happening to Taemin for a while. So it makes sense that Taemin would be like, you know, music is my future. Variety may be the thing that he can do. Acting and sports may be the thing for Minho. But for me personally, music is my heart. It is my soul. It is my future. And I need to be in a place that supports me musically, because I'm always going to work hard. I'm never going to let you down on the performance aspect of things. I'm always going to be 100% invested in the music. But I need somebody who can work as hard as I do on this music thing. And that is a very valid reason for Taemin to decide I'm not with SM anymore. Because the truth of the matter is, even though SM continues to promote SHINee and they still pay for things and they still let SHINee release music, SHINee is not a priority to SM, because SM needs their artists to be clearing $1 million per comeback. Like, if we're just talking straight up numbers, in order to make this music thing work for SM the way that they want and need it to, they need million sellers across the board. That's the reason why Red Velvet doesn't get to promote as much as they used to. That's the reason we're probably not going to get another OGG. It's the reason why SM wasn't fighting too hard to keep members of EXO, because they need million sellers. As it is, I think part of the reason why we're getting so many subdivisions of NCT is because NCT 127 doesn't sell like Dream does. So when SM is considering where to put their marketing budget for the next year, they look at previous performance. And Taemin had the best sales of his career, but Taemin didn't have the kind of sales that NCT did, or aespa. And so the marketing budget for him is going to be a lot smaller moving forward. So I absolutely understand why Taemin would say, fuck this bullshit, I'm gone. Now, the announcement was made that there was going to be another SHINee World concert series, and that Onew is going to be a part of that concert series, which is very exciting. It's very exciting that he is going to do the new hard choreography, that he's going to do some of the old choreography, that he's probably going to sing a couple of solos. It is very exciting to have this happen. My question is, how will it be promoted by SM? And my other question is, how many of these will happen moving forward? You know, it's really nice that SM considers themselves the caretaker of the SHINee name, but SM is also the caretaker of the Girls' Generation name, and we got OGG for the girls who were still on the label, and then we got like a, what is it? Was it a 15th or a 20th anniversary Girls' Generation comeback? And then fucking crickets. Fucking crickets. And Girls' Generation is still a group. The girls that aren't signed to SM didn't leave the group, they just left the label. But SM has never made it a priority to support or promote Girls' Generation. A lot of the members of Super Junior have moved on, and I think Super Junior might have had a comeback not that long ago. It was not a priority for SM to market that. So I think it's sad to me in a way that Key had said previously, if all of SHINee gets into renewals, we either all leave together or we all stay together. And that didn't happen. And the real reason why that didn't happen, in my opinion, is maturity. Honestly, maturity. I don't think when Key said that, he meant it in a bad way. I don't think Key said, we're gonna stick together just to lie in people's faces. I think he absolutely believed we should all probably be having the same experience under this label, and because we should all be having the same experience, we all can get together and talk about our future and all kind of have the same expectation for our future. Because I do believe that the members of SHINee have a very tight friendship. Even if it's not like the closest friendship in the world, even though I do believe they're close, even if it's not the closest friendship in the world, they've all been through something that is wholly onto them. That is an experience that they share with no one else. They have a history with each other. So I think in a lot of ways, they're able to really talk to each other plainly and honestly about how they're feeling, what's going on, what needs to happen. I don't think they pull any punches. I don't think that they try to coddle each other's feelings. I think when they talk very honestly. And in talking that honestly, maybe when renewal actually came to be, because Key made that statement, I think a year before their contract was supposed to renew. But when it came time to really talk about the renewal, like get in the huddle and hash this out, it may have been that Key heard something from other people that wasn't his experience and surprised him because that wasn't how he thought people felt. You know, it's just like in a marriage, for an example. Sometimes the wife might think my marriage is great and the husband is thinking I'm suffocating and I'm thinking about annihilating the family. And if both parties are not honest in how they feel, neither party will know if all we're giving each other is smiles. So a lot of the work that SHINee has to do is about get out there, smile to the crowd, be pleasant, promote the image, but maybe behind the scenes there just hasn't been the time to have this conversation, and finally the time came to have the conversation, and it was, yeah, you're happy, but I'm not. I feel like I have more time than I'm owed, and I want to cash in on that. And so with that being said, I understand why it didn't go down the way that Key said it would go down, because there's concepts and there's reality, and it takes maturity to see things in reality and move forward based on that reality. So I feel very good about everyone's decision. I don't feel like anyone did anything terrible decision-wise, but I am scared about the future of SHINee because outside of, you know, these SHINee World concert commitments, I don't necessarily know how much SHINee we're going to get moving forward. And it's a sad thing. I remember I said something to, I think, either a friend on a phone call. I may have said it on my channel shortly after Jonghyun passed away. And I said, you know, if SHINee didn't continue to be out there as a group, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if SHINee just didn't promote anymore because they've been through so much and life is painful, memories are hard to cope with. Obviously the mental health support for people wasn't necessarily there at the time because look what it did with Jonghyun, but if they had decided that we just can't do this anymore, I would never be mad at them because of everything they gave me up to that very point. So it would never hurt my feelings. And if they decided to stay together and even add a member, I wouldn't be mad at that because they have to do what they need to do to survive, because at the end of the day, it is their life. And I have been given so much by SHINee that I can't ever be mad for them making decisions in their own best interest. But now here we are, and it's time to stand on that word. And I'll say it again, the same thing I had in this conversation almost 6 years ago. Whatever it is that they need to do as individual men to maintain their lives, as long as the outcome is that they are still living, I don't care what happens to the name SHINee. Because it is exactly that. It is a name. If SHINee as a name could disappear so we could have Jonghyun back, and they just all live separate 5 lives, in a fucking heartbeat I would do it. In a fucking heartbeat. And I think you agree. There's nothing worth more than their lives and their ability to live their lives. And if SHINee existing doesn't support that end, then it doesn't need to exist. I would love it to exist. I love the legacy of SHINee. But if Taemin would have to compromise his solo career in order for SHINee to have a comeback and go on a tour, I can get why he would say no. If Onew having to take on the burden of being the emotional support person for the rest of SHINee is too wearing on him because he's dealing with his own health issues, then go do you. If Key says, you know, I'm really doing big things with Variety and now I've got a line on a huge show and I need to go there. In fact, he just did like some clue-based type of like mystery show. If that's where his life is moving and music has to kind of take a backseat because he's doing big things on television and turning himself into like the face of Korean Variety, go ahead and follow that path, follow that journey. And if the opportunity comes up for Minho to buy a minority stake in a major league soccer company, or soccer, not company, team, I don't know, I don't do sports, guys, but if the opportunity comes for him to be a minority owner in a major soccer franchise, then do that. Follow your dreams. Don't kill yourself to be SHINee, because SHINee has given me everything I asked for from it. I asked for music from SHINee. I asked for dance from SHINee. I asked to enjoy those things. And I have. And all of the memories that I've had with SHINee since 2012 stick with me. The first time I saw SHINee, I'll never forget, I've talked about this many, many times. The first time I saw SHINee was on Eat Your Kimchi. Simon and Martina, it was the video of the week they were reviewing, and they reviewed SHINee's Sherlock. I had never heard of SHINee before. I had just started paying attention to K-pop. The first group I paid attention to was the Wonder Girls, and then after that, all I knew were girl groups. And then somehow or another, I found Eat Your Kimchi, heard about Big Bang, heard about EXO, but I remember SHINee's Sherlock being the very first thing I ever heard from SHINee. The very first words I heard from SHINee were, SHINee's back. And ever since then, I have endured an emotional roller coaster with SHINee. I love the Sherlock album. My favorite song for the longest time was Alarm Clock. I remember buying Misconceptions of You, Me, and Then Us. My first SHINee unboxing on my channel is Misconceptions of Us. My first fan fiction I ever wrote in my life was a SHINee fan fiction. I started this channel as Shawwall360 because of SHINee. I have made friends on this channel. Just today, I was texting with Mason. I met Mason because I had this channel. I've had Jade come stay with me because of this channel. I've had Tarian come stay with me because of this channel. I've gone to concerts in multiple places because of this channel and because of SHINee giving me a purpose for having this channel. It's through SHINee that I've been introduced to so much more K-pop. They were the hook that got me reeled into this wild, weird world. And so SHINee owes me nothing. SHINee owes me absolutely nothing. And if SHINee were to ever have to end, I wouldn't begrudge a single thing because they have given me everything that I asked for. So that's how I feel right now. I don't know if feelings will change. I would hope that I will continue to have a positive outlook on things, but you just never know how life is. But I don't feel owed. I don't feel owed. I feel like I have been given even more than I asked for. And I hope that other people are able to find comfort in that idea too, because things don't remain the same. Nothing in life remains the same. Everything changes constantly. And in order to live a life that is fulfilling and live a life that's worth living, you have to be adaptable to change. You can't keep living in the past. You can't keep living for the way things used to be, because it's never going to be like that ever again. So I'm content with however much or however little I get moving forward, because I've been given so very much today. Also, I meant to have this talk with you guys yesterday, but I didn't have my tripod at home. It was here at work and I left work early, so I didn't talk to you. But Jonghyun's birthday just passed, our baby Jonghyun, and you know, every birthday is another opportunity to remember his life, who he was, how very, very incredibly special he was, and honestly probably too good for the life he had to occupy. And I want to share a little bit more about my favorite Jonghyun song. So my favorite SHINee song is Hold You, but my favorite Jonghyun song is Monodrama. And I've talked about Monodrama so many times on this channel. Like, I have really dug into the lyrics, explained why I love it. I've explained how melancholy and sad I thought the melody was. I've talked about this song a lot on this channel. Everyone who's close to me knows Monodrama is my favorite Jonghyun song, and they know that Hold You is my favorite SHINee song. But I want to tell you about an experience I had with my daughter explaining Monodrama to her. And this was a conversation we had not that long ago. We were in the car and I was just playing the K-pop hits, because, you know, she's not into K-pop the way she used to be. She still listens to some K-pop here and there because it's unavoidable. But she mostly is listening to mainstream American popular music. She listens to a lot of like Chaperone and a lot of that kind of thing. You know, my daughter, she has very eclectic music taste. She's also listening to whatever European stuff that she enjoys. I don't know what the name of that artist is, but there's that guy who has that one song that's really popular on TikTok. We're like, Bohem, Bohem. My daughter listens to that. She listens to a lot of French music, like starting from Edith Piaf, moving on up. She listens to a lot of French music. But I say all that to say, my daughter hadn't really talked to me about K-pop. We haven't talked with each other about K-pop in quite a while. And we were in the car, and I wanted to play some old K-pop music for her, just to kind of, you know, refresh her memory. Like, do you remember I played this? Do you remember I played that? Do you know these are my favorite songs? If I die, play this at my funeral. That kind of thing. And I played Monodrama for her, and at first she's like, I don't think I've ever heard this song before. And I immediately paused the song, and I looked at her like, oh, what do you mean you've never heard this song before? Have I never played this song for you? And she's like, well, I just don't recognize it. I'm like, okay, well, let me play it a little bit more. So I played it a little bit more, and by the time Jonghyun's voice came in, she's like, oh, I know this song. And I'm like, yes, yes, your mama's favorite Jonghyun song. And I was explaining to her the lyrics, and I guess I had explained to you guys the lyrics a multitude of times, but maybe I hadn't ever really explained the lyrics to her. And as I was explaining the lyrics to her, she got this look on her face like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that that was what was going on, and that's such an interesting way to write. And she was really appreciating kind of the lyrical content of the song. And I immediately thought to myself, bitch, I wish that you spoke Korean, because there's so much that you miss on so many different levels about Jonghyun because you don't speak the language. But also, it's something where I feel like when we talk about Jonghyun and we talk about his legacy, we don't really talk as much about what an utter genius he was with his pen, and also, like, you know, how much he understood about humanity during his time amongst the human race. Because now, of course, he's with the angels, and how ironic that we would have an eclipse on his birthday. Just, he thought he'd come see us even in the daytime. He likes to party. But I think about that a lot, about how, you know, he danced and he was beautiful and the songs were always great and his voice was always amazing, but he understood so much about life. He understood so much about people. He understood so much about desire. You know, the lyrics of Monodrama are about a person who is infatuated with someone who has absolutely nothing to do with their life, and how he is in his room creating all these fantasies of relationships that he shares with this person, whether it's bad relationships or good relationships. Sometimes it's painful and sometimes it's joyous, but all of these things that aren't real, but in his mind are real because they tug at his emotions. But it's just drama that he's experiencing alone, because again, he's not really a part of this person's life. And there's a performance of Jonghyun doing it on stage, and this is the reason why, I'll forever be mad that SM taped Jonghyun's last concert with a really high quality camera, but that concert has never been released on video. I think the SHINee Foundation ought to let that happen. God, for at least for the 10th year anniversary, please let that happen. But he did a performance in front of a mirror with this song playing, and he spends kind of like the bridge looking in the mirror while playing this song and dancing to himself in the mirror. And there's at least 3 different levels of this song that I have come to understand over the years. There is the level of just having a crush on somebody and that person not reciprocating, and your crush making you imagine possibilities that aren't even there. There's also the layer of, as a fan looking at an idol and sharing a parasocial relationship and, you know, writing fan fiction, all these imagined realities, but it's not real. It's just drama that you have concocted out of the air because this person is an ideal to you. And then there is the ideal Jonghyun that he never experienced. The reason why the choreography moves into the mirror, because he could see the image of Jonghyun that all of us got to experience as fans, and he knew inside of him, in his heart, in his mind, the person that he couldn't be. And he worked so incredibly hard for us for so long to make sure that we got that untouchable, unbeatable, beautiful, without flaw idol, when the real him was falling apart. And he sits there and is saying, sometimes I'm enamored with you, sometimes I'm angry with you because I'm not you. You're everything and I'm nothing. And it's been said over the years that we've always had clues that Jonghyun was going through it. But he took his pain, the pain that he felt over not feeling like he was enough, and instead of taking that pain and turning that into something negative, something destructive, something that could harm other people, instead of being an asshole about it, he turned it into art. He literally turned his pain into art. And I just don't think we appreciate that enough about him, because the song doesn't sound as painful as it is, but then when you really think about it, it is him describing the torture of being so close to a thing you'll never be. And not only a thing that you'll never be, but honestly a relationship you should have. Kim Jong-un should be able to look in the mirror and see the idol in front of him and know, that is me. I'm that guy. That's my voice. That's my writing skills. I am everything that they're saying I am because I'm doing it. I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm appearing, I'm laughing, I'm on the show, I'm on the record. I am that thing. But he never saw it. And he knew that there was something wrong with him not being able to see it for himself. And I don't know, I don't think it'll ever not be my favorite Jonghyun song. I think it'll always be my favorite Jonghyun song for that reason, but also just, I don't cry when I hear it. I don't cry when I hear it. If anything, I want to body roll a little bit because it's a very sexy sounding song, but I just always think about how he was so insightful and he so understood people on every level. And he was going through so much. and he made room for us in everything. So I wish him the very happiest of birthdays. I hope his family is well. Rue's getting older. If you go on her Instagram, our baby's covered in gray hair. She's getting so old. But I'm really grateful I got to know who he was as a person on the planet before he departed. Like, how fucking lucky have I personally been? I saw him in person twice, and I got to listen to his music the day it came out, and I got to watch him do videos and anticipate the release of videos, and I got to see him win awards and smile and watch him write. I'm so fortunate, and I'm grateful. So in talking about the other 4 members of SHINee, I'm glad we got a chance to talk to our star and talk about him and how very, very incredibly special he is. And he'll always be special. SHINee owes me nothing. SHINee gave me Jonghyun, and that in and of itself is more than enough. So I hope you all have a good night. I don't have any BL recommendations for you. I really haven't been watching that much BL. I am 6 episodes away from finishing Stay With Me. I'm working so hard to finish that fucking show. I don't know how to describe it because most people will give up on a show after a certain amount of time, but it is my comfort BL. It is my comfort BL almost more than any other BL I have ever watched. I don't watch it because I'm waiting for a kiss, because it's literally a Chinese BL and they're not allowed to kiss, like the state won't let it happen. But it's a show about family and about found family and about recognizing that if something is missing in your life, that instead of just going with things because that's what the world expects you to do, that you go out there and you find that thing that's missing and you cherish it above all else, and you protect it and you nurture it and you make it grow. And I don't know, I love the little family in the show. I think if you are someone who would like to start a BL show, but you're not really, kiss on the cheek is nothing, girl, Sarah, we know. But you're not really prepared for like hardcore Ken Porsche style smashing, I highly recommend Stay With Me. It is a Chinese BL. I currently watch it on Viki. The 2 little boys in the show, they have good chemistry. The one little boy to me looks like a shaved head Taemin. If you know, you know. The character's name is Yu, and every time I see him, I'm like, he's Taemin if Taemin had never gotten to grow his hair out after he got a military cut. But the show is 2 stepbrothers. I know, stepbrothers, ick. But it's 2 stepbrothers who, the mother of the one poor brother married the father of the one rich brother, and the brothers find that they enjoy being brothers more than they care about their actual parents, and so they decide to, do whatever they can to stay together as a team of brothers. Because it is a Chinese BL, it is seen more as a bromance than a BL. They're not really going to ever confess their affection, romantic love for each other, and they're never going to go that far. But the feelings of this show are incredibly warm, and with how stressful life has been, if you just want a show that shows people eating good food and having fun mishaps and just doing fun things, then I highly recommend Stay With Me. It is my comfort BL right now. Like, I just watch it just so I could see like the little girl character talk to her brothers and watch the stepmom, be super sweet with the kids, and watch them have adventures with their friends at school, and wondering if everybody's going to pass their end of the year exams, and are they going to grow up to be the people that they want to be? Are they going to go to college? Like, it's those feelings. It's not about the romance is cute, cool, whatever, but it really is about just like, oh, y'all are so adorable, and I just want nothing but good things to happen for you. So, yeah. I mean, after talking about such a heavy subject, we could all use a little comfort, right? So, that is my comfort recommendation. But thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Thank you for allowing me to have this time. You know, my channel is my channel, and it's never going to be anything else. So if one of the hateful people from my last discussion decides to come on here and talk a bunch of shit, it is what it is. But it's not going to change anything for me, because I got SHINee. I got him. And nothing that anyone says is ever going to take that away from me. So I win. I win. Alright. Talk to y'all later. Bye.